Good evening, everyone. You're in the spotlight with Brian Garner for this Thursday, October the 11th, 2018. Good to have you all here for our second of two shows this week. Our 8th anniversary show. Technically, the anniversary already passed, but you know what? We do it when we're able to do it. And I picked Thursday for many reasons, which I'll explain later. But before we get going, let me remind you all the ways in which you can interact and contribute to our show. Have your voice heard by emailing us at itspotlight401@gmail.com. You can also follow us and tweet us at itspotlight401. Remember to use the hashtag itspotlight401 for anything you tweet regarding the show. You can also use hashtag ITS8 tonight if you want. That's up to you. It's always your choice. Sometimes when we have a special thing, we have a special hashtag, and here we go. And of course, on Facebook, search In the Spotlight 401 on Facebook, and then make sure that you like our page so you can interact with us and all that good stuff. A couple of things off the top. Obviously, it's been a horrible week down in Florida and up the East Coast. So we want to express our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to all those affected by Hurricane Michael and all those that have lost their lives. May they rest in peace. It's a sad situation. I don't know if you've seen some of the images, but it's been horrific down there. So our condolences and our thoughts and our prayers go out to everyone down there. If you can give to Red Cross or any agencies that are helping to provide, assistance and such, please do, because they need it. So please give if you can, and please help out if you can, because they need everything they can, every little bit they can. So can get. So, and one other thing, because I shared this on our show's Facebook page, and I also showed it on my own personal page, and I'm doing this for my wife because, it means a lot to her, and it's something that I don't think gets a lot of notoriety because it's such a rare illness and disease. My wife's birthday is coming up, and she's doing this giveaway, this fundraiser on Facebook. And I'm not usually one that promotes these kind of things and that, but I figured given this for my wife, and because it is something rare and something that a lot of people don't know about, I figured I will bring it up. My wife's doing this fundraiser this year for her birthday on Facebook. It's for a disease. It's to benefit a nonprofit that assists, helps to finance research and assist people and those that are loved ones of people that have been afflicted with mastocytosis. I think I'm mispronouncing it. I apologize if I am. Even I don't know a lot about it. And if you Google it, you probably won't be able to find a lot about it. It's a very rare disease. My wife's mother has it, and it's, life expectancy isn't very good, but not a lot is known about it. It's one of those things you have to kind of work through and kind of try to figure out where you go with it and what you do. Her mother found out that she had it earlier this year in January. And so there's not a lot known about it. And this year, that's her big thing. She wants for a birthday donation. Well, among other things, but that's her primary thing is she wants funds given to this fundraiser to benefit the Mastocytosis Society organization. So you'll see this on the show page, our fan page, and you'll also see this on my Facebook as well. So if you could give, I know not everybody can. It's a tough economy and all. I understand. And I know people sometimes don't like when people promote these kind of things, but I'm only doing it, for my way. I'm doing it because it's such a rare thing too. So, but if you can give, please do. It's appreciated, and if you can't, you know what, that's fine too. But you could always share the post or whatever, and help out in that way too. So just wanted to note that off the top, and I will be mentioning this off and on just for her and because again it's such a rare thing. So don't just be aware that I will keep mentioning that. But yeah, so if you'd like to give, please do. All right, so I want to mention those two things, pardon me, off the top. Couple other little things. Next week, same kind of setup we've been doing for the last couple weeks here. 2 shows, Tuesday and Thursday, both at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday will be sports. We'll do football, both pros and college. We'll talk baseball. Obviously, both championship series are set by the time we get together on Tuesday. We'll probably be well into those series. We'll talk about everything that's transpired, what's yet to transpire. We'll do all that on Tuesday's show. And any of the sports stuff we have to talk about, we will talk about on Tuesday. And then next Thursday, what we've been doing, entertainment and wrestling. We'll talk Raw, SmackDown, all the other big wrestling headlines. We will probably preview Evolution next week because the week after I'm only going to be doing one show, so I have to do it all on Thursday, and then we'll also do a double version of the box office beat and TV highlights well, not double version of TV highlights, but the box office beat, and then TV highlights we'll do next week as well. Again, the following week we'll only do one show, so I'll try to get a lot of stuff out of the way on Thursday, so that Tuesday show can just be sports and that's it. So and just remember, be aware after next week. Now 2 shows next week: wrestling entertainment Thursday, sports on Tuesday. The week after, like I just said, because we'll get some of that stuff out of the other stuff that we do out of the way on Thursday. A week from Tuesday, which I think will be October the 23rd. That'll be the last show before we go on a little bit of a hiatus. We'll only do one show that week. It'll be on Tuesday. We'll do football. We'll do any baseball, any other sports stuff we have to cover. We will. We'll probably do like 2 weeks worth of football picks. All that we'll do on Tuesday of that week. And because people have been asking me like crazy about what's going to be happening after the hiatus, because I've been saying that we're going to start the new format for the show and all the other stuff I've been talking about, people have been asking me about. How's this going to work? Well, I'm going to get into it more next week, but let me just say this. There's going to be kind of a transitional show. We might do that. I'll explain this next week. We might do a kind of like a transitional show right before we start the new format, just to kind of ease people in and kind of address some things from while we're on hiatus and that kind of thing. So just be aware of that. I'll explain more about that next week and how it's all going to work, because it might end up being on a night or day on a day when we don't usually do a show or something. I'm trying to figure out the details of that. I just think it would be helpful to do kind of like a transitional type show. So be aware of that. That could be coming pretty soon. Well, after the hiatus. So I'll talk more about that next week. And then more about what's going to be coming up in the coming weeks as well, and what we're going to be doing and how everything's going to work out. So just be aware all that information is coming soon. All right, so tonight I said we got to do wrestling, we got entertainment, and it won't be a long show, just kind of like it's been over the last few weeks. These Thursday shows have been relatively short. But for the first time since I think it's May, and I told you I was going to see if you'd do it. I said I would ask, and I did. And people have been wondering, and I keep forgetting. Maybe this weekend I'll do it, because I think I'm going to see him this weekend. I'll show him some of the mail that we've gotten since May. But yeah, I said I'd ask. So for the first time since I think the beginning of May, middle of May, around there somewhere, I don't know, I can't remember, we welcome in Mike, who's in the spotlight. I heard him when he jumped out. I could hear him in the background. It's surreal. I'm not used to having somebody here, but Mike, welcome back for this little cameo here.
How come I come back? After all this time.
Right.
And you're still fucking rambling. What the hell?
Well, I knew that, first of all, yes.
Also, hi.
Hi. First of all, I knew that you'd start with something like that, and I'm already prepared. The longest show I've had since you've been gone was 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, because you just talked the whole time.
And you know what the hour and 20 minutes is? It was the award show. It was the TV awards back in September. So
I would imagine the great Claire Danes won Best Newcomer Award again.
I have to show you. That reminds me. This week I'm going to have to show you the results. I never did show you the results of that. No, I got to show you. I think you'll get a kick out of a couple of things. But yeah, I mean, look, people have been asking, and I didn't say anything the first couple of weeks. I kind of just said, he's going to be out for a little bit, 'cause I didn't know, and so I kind of, and then afterwards I kind of explained it, and I didn't go into full details, except for in pieces, but people know what's been going on. Let me just say that, and I'm going to try to see if I can get into the mailbox and show you some of the stuff, because there's some nice well wishes and some good stuff, so I think you'll appreciate that.
I always do when I see it, and I don't see it very often.
Well, yeah, but
I blame you.
You should blame me, because I'm terrible with that stuff. You should blame me. Now, Mike wasn't the only person that people asked about over these last couple of days, because it was the anniversary, and people know. People asked about Jeff Tech, and that goes way back to Talk Shoe, and and some of our newer fans won't appreciate that reference. But I did ask Jeff Tech. I did reach out to Jeff Tech today not today, but over the last couple of days to see if he'd, be involved, because he wouldn't make an appearance because heaven forbid he should reveal himself. But I did reach out.
I think he's done too much of that over his time.
Yeah, understatement. I did reach out to him. He did get back to me this morning, a very short reply. He said that he would be getting in touch with me over the weekend, to further explain what's been going on with him. He just didn't have a lot of time today, but he said he's always well. He's doing okay. He could not do the show tonight. He would have liked to. He is hoping, though, because I did a nice real back and forth, but briefly. Again, nothing but short replies, because he didn't have a lot of time. But he did indicate to me that he would be interested in maybe being involved with the new format next month. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can, go back and forth to him and see. Obviously, that would be cool to have him back involved in some way, shape, or form, because he's the butt of many entertaining jokes on our part. So, that's cool. And also I was asked about Justin, and my response to that is, if you know him, and Justin, of course, usually did the wrestling shows with us, or once in a while we drop in on another show, once in a while here and there. If you know him, you know that out of sight, out of mind. Let's put it that way. People, and I've explained to some of you off the air what's going on with that. I'm not going to go into it on the air, but it is what it is. So we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so, all right. So one of the things that I haven't done over these last couple of days is really mention. I mentioned the anniversary, but I didn't say that we would be doing anything. And we're really not, only because, first of all, it's 8. And 8's an odd number, just like 7 was, and 6. And Mike knows, and anybody knows that's been listening or watching the show over the last 8 years, that we did different things to celebrate anniversaries and milestones. We did clip shows. We've done, we've done different topic things. We've done a lot of different things. And I've gotten to the point now, maybe because we're going to start anew kind of and do all these things, that I don't think we should do that anymore, because it's repetitive and we kind of go to the same things over and over and over again. And it's just kind of pointless. So my whole thing, given how what's been going on this year and everything, my whole thing was, well, let's see who we could get to come back, and let's just let that ride. And basically what I was going to do tonight was, first of all, there's been quite a bit that's happened over these last 5 or 6 months that I the first couple of weeks first couple weeks I was by myself, I would always throw to Mike, like, hey, Mike, what did you think about this? Because a lot of these topics, it's so funny. He goes away, and then we finally get some topics he can talk about. There was a lot of things that took place over the summer that you could have talked about.
I also blame you for that.
Yes, well, I can't time it. So, there was a lot of different things, from James Gunn, which you had a lot of thoughts about.
It was total horseshit, yes.
To all these various wrestling things that happened and didn't happen.
Kevin Owens still should have won Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman wasted it. And why is AJ Styles still champion? I don't understand.
All very good questions and very good points. And, lots of different things. Wrestling, there was a lot of sports stuff.
Hey, how about them Yankees and them Red Sox? They were doing good things, and they're going to play in the playoffs. And oh wait, they did. Whoops! I'm sorry. Yeah, really. It was a bit of a sore subject, I imagine.
Yeah, it's still real raw, Mike. It's still real raw. Let's give it some time. But anyway, there's a lot of different things, and we can't go over every little thing. We're not going to go over every little thing because we can't. There's not enough time, and I've been trying to get through things pretty quickly. But it's funny how things become circular in a way, because there's been things that you could have talked about. I could even throw out there Lethal Weapon and that drama that's been going on over the last 4 months, because I know Mike always bring up Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon is a good show, but I haven't seen it since the end of the last season, with all the ridiculous amounts of changes. And then Damon Wayans is like, oh, well, fuck this. I'm too old.
Well,
what the heck?
Enjoy it while you have it.
Right?
Because I think it's pretty much done at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, but it's funny how I mentioned all these things that came up over the summer, and then lo and behold, what comes out this week? But a piece of news that alludes to one of the big topics from the summer, James Gunn. you know, um, and that is on the topic thing. So, and I wasn't going to start with this, but I'm gonna throw something at Mike while he's on because I don't think he's going to spend the whole time here, which is fine.
I am
Um,
not.
that's fine. That's why I'm going to throw it at you now while I have you, because I'm sure you have thoughts on the fact that DC decided it was a good idea to hire James Gunn, and Marvel let him basically go off to the competition because that's what they
Yeah.
did. He's going to be doing Suicide Squad 2. Now, so far, he's only writing, but it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that he's going to direct. It just hasn't been confirmed yet. And I told you off the air about this, but it's not even a stretch that, Dave Bautista's been on Twitter mentioning how, where do I sign up? And everybody thought I was joking, but there's already been this speculation, and some of it I think might be based on rumblings that he could jump to the Suicide Squad 2. And by the way, apparently it's going to be a complete reboot. And the only people they might keep are Margot Robbie and Will Smith.
Which was fair.
But apparently one of the characters they might add to the roster is Bane, and Batista is rumored for that character if they go ahead with it.
If I am Marvel, I would take Big Dave into a room and say, no, you can't follow James Gunn and play Bane. You're playing Drax forever and for always right now.
Now,
and besides, there are other people who can play Bane in Hollywood. Watch John Cena doing, for example.
Always go back to Tom Hardy too, if you have to.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. I mean, he already did it, so...
But Tom Hardy's playing a Marvel character, Brian. How is that going to work?
Yeah, and I imagine that movie's getting a sequel. So, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. First of all, I don't think Batista would be the worst person to play Bane.
Nope, he's a fairly good actor.
It'd be fine. And I'm sure, given James Gunn's history, he usually tailors the characters to the actor, so I think it would be just fine. But and first of all, isn't it funny? And you and me talked about this when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out. What did DC, well, after Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, but when Suicide Squad came out, DC wanted Suicide Squad to be their Guardians of the Galaxy.
They certainly did. They
rewrote it and made all those changes to make it more comedic to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, and now they get James Gunn to do a reboot.
So then now they don't have to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy. They got the guy who can make it like Guardians of the Galaxy. Surprise.
Yeah. And look, he's going to do a great job with it. And I know that there was this feeling that he'd go back tomorrow. And he might still go back tomorrow. This is not like he's signing with DC for tons of movies. Yeah. He's going to reboot Suicide Squad. If it works out, they'll probably ask him to do a sequel, and it'll go from there. It's not like DC can't use the talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fine and good, and it shows that they're listening, that they're willing to hire talented people. But what it also shows you is this. I think what happened with Disney, and it's Disney because I don't think Marvel would have done it. Disney jumped the gun. They reacted too quickly, and they didn't want to go back on it because it makes them look too wishy-washy. And because it felt like every day something else was coming out, so they couldn't get out ahead of it. So they just decided to cut the cord and let it go, thinking, "Oh, well, let's let time settle in. We'll bring them back." Well, they probably thought nobody was going to dare, other than maybe a studio here and there. But they didn't think DC was going to pick them up or Warner Bros. Was going to pick them up.
They thought wrong.
They thought wrong. Apparently, and I think that's what happened. They jumped the gun. They reacted too quickly, and they kind of thought about going back on it. But then they're like, then it makes us look like we're kind of, hypocrites and all this other stuff. And now they paid the price for it. Now that, you're pretty much saying, I hope that if we come at him with something that he's going to stay or come back. And look, if Suicide Squad ends up being this massive hit, which it could be, because it has potential to be a massive hit. Always did. If you do it right. If it ends up being a massive hit, and he ends up doing what, like a trilogy out of that, then you're screwed.
Yep.
And they might use him for other projects because they're pretty much kind of rebooting the entire universe right now.
Yep.
So, look, good for him. Look, I mean, he had no allegiance to them. He had every right to take that job, and it's a good job for him to take. It's a good redemption job for him to take. And he's going to be, I imagine he's going to be very motivated.
Yep.
So, and I never thought I'd care about Suicide Squad 2, but I care now. Or
Still don't.
Suicide Squad reboot, I should say. Hopefully they let him have his vision, because if they don't, then who cares? But yeah. So, interesting piece of news, that's for sure. I just want to bring that up. We're going to I'm going to dance around here because usually I do entertainment and wrestling, but I'm throwing the mic on a couple of things, and then he can leave whatever he wants to leave. I'm not holding him hostage on the show.
Not yet, anyway.
No. And by the way, if he ever does come back, which who knows if he does or not, it's certainly not going to be when the show starts at 10 o'clock. I'll show you that.
Nope.
Say that. We gotta work on that one. We'll have to talk over the weekend about that. But yeah. So I want to bring up the James Gunn thing. So we did a little entertainment. Now I'm gonna throw some wrestling at him because we got a couple things to talk about, and we're gonna do that quickly. First of all, let me just throw. Usually I do the Raw and Smackdown highlights, and then after the pay-per-view I talk about that, and then I do big news. But I'll do the big news first. A couple of little tidbits out there in the universe over the last couple of days. First of all, and it stems from Raw. If you watch Raw, they kind of ran a double turn on Monday night, which was weird because I didn't know it was coming. I heard there's been rumors all year about Kevin Owens going face and Bobby Lashley going heel. But it wasn't, expected to do it Monday night. In fact, I was hearing for the longest time, at least reading from the longest time, they're going to pair Owens with Elias for the rest of the fall. Which looked like it was going. But alas, that's not what happened. They ran an injury angle with Bobby Lashley essentially turning heel on Leo Rush. Owens, they ran the whole thing with the knee, and now Kevin Owens is out with an injury. He's been pulled from the mixed match challenge. It got out today that if it's a minor surgery, he'll be out for 4 months. If it's a major, he'll be out for 8 months. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley's now a heel, which is what they basically said. Well, let's try him as a face, and then they realized it wasn't going over, so let's try him as a heel. And he works better as a heel, so it's all good. Plus, he's got kind of a manager, so it's going to be okay. But the big thing here, and look, without Kevin Owens, they needed a heel on Raw, and Bobby fits the bill. But without Kevin Owens, you lose a main eventer. You lose a guy that I think around WrestleMania season would have been in a big enough program. And I have to say this. Do him and Sami Zayn have to do everything together? Because this sets him up to return around. If he's at the 4 or 5 month mark, that sets him up to return the same time as Sami Zayn. I mean, like, you can't write that stuff. Like, they do everything together, so why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
So
turn both back face at the same time, I guess.
But obviously, I'm sure you have thoughts. I'm sure you're not. You're pretty much upset about the fact that Kevin Owens is going to be gone for a substantial period of time.
I was hoping he would be at the house show tomorrow here in Syracuse, but I was informed by you over the week that he was not.
No.
So I was very upset by that. But here's hoping it's minor surgery. Here's hoping KO only gets minor surgery. He'll be out for a little bit, but he'll come back in time for WrestleMania if they want him to. Kevin Owens has had a low-key MVP year for WWE again. And I know I'm biased, and it's fair. But he has had a low-key MVP year. Everything he's touched this year has turned to gold. Everything is interesting. The Sami Zayn stuff has been interesting. The return to Raw has been interesting. The freaking massive nuclear heat with Elias has been interesting. He and Elias are building a feud with a guy with no personality and John Cena, who's not even there. Like, Kevin Owens has been the MVP. He literally sold his ass off for Braun all summer, making him look even more like a monster. Kevin Owens has done an amazing job. But the problem is, like, they really haven't done anything for him, but now he's
Right.
injured again.
Right.
Now he's injured. So, look, I was looking forward to face Kevin Owens for the longest time, and I'm glad we're going to get it. But they need to fully commit to face KO. If they can do that, then it'll work very, very well. As for Bobby Lashley, it was only a matter of time before they turned his ass heel. He wasn't getting the reactions he needed to get as a face. They gave him Leo Rush, who is amazing at being a little annoying guy. He's amazing at that. And well, Bobby Lashley is now a heel, and it works out. It works very well. But where are we going with Bobby Lashley from here?
Roman Reigns.
Probably.
Because they can't keep doing that Shield and Dogs of War feud because it's got to end sooner or later.
Yes,
it's already showing signs of it, to be honest. The whole segment with Lashley and Owens and Leo Rush. I guess Vince was feeding lines to Rush the whole time.
Of course he was.
So you got that stuff going on. You got all the stuff with Shawn Michaels. He's going to face Triple H's going to face Undertaker and Kane at Crown Jewel, which we all knew about. We talked about that.
The Crown Jewel stuff is interesting because Saudi Arabia is getting raked over the coals for the murder of a journalist, one of their own.
Right.
A lot of people are saying, well, it's going to be mighty hard for WWE to justify coming over here.
And I was wondering about that. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything about like WWE like reacting or trying to get out in front of it. It's been interesting not to see them kind of like acknowledge it.
I'm a little surprised, but
yeah, I think they're going to have to say something because it's not going to go away. But you got that stuff going on, and what was I going to say? Oh, and now there's also this talk of Shawn Michaels. Now it seems like he's going to work WrestleMania this year. Now apparently Shawn, this is rumors, folks. This is not confirmed. The rumor is that Shawn is not going to face anybody that is like young, like any of the current roster. So like it's going to have to be like always like a part timer because he doesn't want maybe he doesn't want to put somebody over, or he doesn't want to waste somebody else's time. He thinks they should be in their own programs. It's kind of like he's thinking of himself as a specialty act and just working with the other specialty guys. I hope that's not the case because there's some people he can benefit.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if he's going to do this, which he is, and they sold it just the way I thought they would, with the whole idea that Undertaker drew him out and everything, at least use him for what you can use him for. I mean, that's just the bottom line, and it's also been talked about this week that one of the reasons why there's talk that Batista's going to be back for a while. Rey Mysterio's back full-time. Shawn Michaels back. Is one of the reasons this is happening. Ratings are going down. They got the TV deals. And apparently Vince thinks that they can no longer make young stars, the way that the climate is. No matter what they do.
Well, Vince's way of making star. Well, look, Vince made Braun Strowman a star, but he didn't want to make Braun Strowman a star. He wanted to make a Braun Strowman a big guy for Roman to conquer. And Braun Strowman just happened to get over because everybody hates Roman Reigns. So if Braun is going to murder Roman every week, people are going to start cheering Braun. He made Braun Strowman a huge star.
Yeah.
Period. He can still make stars, just they need the right ideas.
And let's be honest, if you're continuously going back to the well and doing the same things over and over and over again for weeks on end, you ain't going to do it.
Nope.
And one of the things that I liked about even SmackDown this week, and I'm just going to bring Brenton to highlight that the highlight of the whole show. I mean, Charlotte Becky's been amazing. Don't get me wrong. I've loved that feud. And then there's other parts of it too, like Samoa Joe AJ was okay for a while, but now they're running this whole thing with Samoa Joe because leg keeps giving out in matches. I thought they were going to write him off, but I guess not. I don't know what they're trying to do there. I don't know if he's really injured, what the deal is, but and then your main event on Tuesday, which goes to show you Vince doesn't think about building stars, is Randy Orton versus Big Show.
Yep.
So
Those
there
are
you
new
go.
stars. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Big Show can come back and do the job every once in a while, but it'd be nice to do it for like he was doing it for Strowman, do it for somebody that can use it. Because Orton can't. But anyway, the highlight of that whole show for me was the Miz TV thing with AJ and Daniel Bryan, where Miz basically went kind of savage on him and said, "You want to know the reason why the WWE title is the main event pay-per-views? Look in the mirror."
Mm-hmm.
I love that line. Like, because let's be honest, I don't want to make this into an AJ hate fest here, but what has AJ done in either of his title reigns? His first title reign, and we see how he was facing Cena, so it was somewhat memorable. But what during this entire reign, other than Samoa Joe being amazing in that feud to make it even a remotely interesting feud, nothing. The Nakamura thing was a mess. Even before, I mean, everything since he took the title a year ago has been a mess. Even before that, he took, his feud with Owens was underwhelming because if I don't know what it is about AJ, he can't hold his own on the mic, and it just seems like okay, you're a good wrestler, but there's nothing else there. It's like he tries to tell stories in the ring, like AJ used to, I'm not AJ, like Shawn Michaels used to do, and other guys have done, but it doesn't come off the same way. It doesn't come off. He doesn't let the drama kind of play out. It all just seems like spot fest. It's really weird. So, I didn't mind them bringing that up and kind of throwing it at him like that. And that was the highlight of SmackDown for him. Raw was okay.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I did like the fact that there was progress. Like you see the Dogs of War kind of breaking up. They're all kind of going against Dolph and Drew and Braun kind of had some tension. And then you got the ending with Dean Ambrose kind of walking out on the Shield.
Yep.
At least there was something going on in that main event. That main event was amazing.
So I hear.
And then the Super Showdown match, which I'm going to throw out there, was amazing. And look, I'm going to be brief about Super Showdown because I think people think I'm going to do a whole segment. I'm not going to. It was better than Greatest Royal Rumble. A lot of the matches were good. AJ, Samoa Joe was good. The Shield, Dogs of War match was good. The Undertaker, Triple H match was good. From a nostalgia standpoint, because Undertaker clearly can't move around very well still. Shawn looked good in that match. So did Kane. Most of that night was good. Charlotte Becky was good into the ending. I didn't really care for the ending, but it's okay because basically it was filler.
Let's continue.
I thought the matches were good as a whole. I thought they were better than Greatest Royal Rumble. But again, it was fairly uneventful. You went into it knowing that not much was going to change, probably except for Buddy Murphy winning, which he did. It was a great moment. But other than that, you knew it was going to be a bunch of filler, and it was. To set up future stuff, and that's what it was. And then you get Raw, and I thought Raw did okay enough with backing things up. Kurt Angle's back, dressed up in his gold leotard and all that. But
he dressed up in Edge and Christian's gold leotard, Brian. You get it right.
Yes, of course. But, that was cool. I mean, at least there was movement on Raw. SmackDown's kind of still playing some stuff out, but it is what it is. I didn't expect to see John Cena back so soon, but I guess they have to try to sell. They got to make as much money as they can with Crown Jewel. But yeah, I mean, I thought Raw did a good job of at least holding some momentum. And SmackDown, I thought really it was about the Miz and Daniel Bryan segment, and that was it. And AJ segment, that was it. Otherwise, I didn't think there was much else notable this week on WWE at all. But yeah. So I thought it was, I went into Greatest Showdown. Wow. Super Showdown with the idea that SmackDown had been the better show, but I came out with Raw being the better show, maybe because more movement was there. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on WWE that came out this week. The Kevin Owens stuff and the Bobby Lashley stuff was pretty big. Oh, and of course, one of the things that came out of Raw, and apparently this was always the plan, they changed the Alexa Bliss Trish Stratus match to a tag team match. Lita and Trish versus Alexa and Mickie James.
Yep.
So they're going to say it was always the plan. I don't think that was always the plan. I think
Nope.
Alexa's still hurt.
Yep.
And I think they thought with these legends it was better off running a tag match because they might not be as, as ready as they should be. Or
Yep.
as ready as yeah. So that's my feeling. That's the way that look, it's probably for the best. But that gives them more time to have Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey in the main event. Because that's happening.
Yeah.
So
of what? Super Showdown? Not
Evolution.
Evolution, otherwise known as we have to apologize to the women of our company for doing 2 Saudi shows they weren't invited on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But look, it is what it is. I mean, at least there was some momentum coming out of the show. It was a better show than Greatest Royal Rumble. Raw was okay. SmackDown was, except for one segment I thought was okay. Not much. And
Yep.
look, right now it's just get to Evolution, play that out, get to Crown Jewel, play that out, and then finally I think we'll see some big stuff with Survivor Series and then plan for Mania at this point. Because this has been a very uneventful fall. And summer was kind of rough too. And if there's talk about this, I told Mike this off there is talk that Brock Lesnar is going to take the title back at Crown Jewel.
That would be the worst idea they could do.
For a number of reasons.
And none of them are good.
No. And apparently the reasoning is, well, they're starting to get the idea that these shows that they're running, these international shows, people are starting to look past them and go, oh, they're filler. So, well, let's have something big happen. Well, they had Buddy Murphy because that was a hometown kind of thing. But now they're talking about having one of the big titles change hands. But they also like the idea of Brock having that title when he fights in UFC. They always have.
Yeah, but nobody else does right now. So you tried it. He didn't fight UFC. Just keep the title on a full-time guy.
And what does that say about Roman? They've
lost faith totally in Roman, it looks like.
Because he has defended the title. He defended it against Corbin. He defended it against
Finn
Balor. He defended against Strowman at Hell in a Cell. He's going to defend it again at Crown. So it's not like he hasn't defended it. But they also have had it kind of be an afterthought with this feud. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like they're pushing the title away because they want you to be into it more with Roman. And like, oh yeah, if we don't have him focusing on Universal title and defending it, well, people are going to forget he has and they'll like him more. It's nuts what they do with him. It really is. It really is. But and you had Cena today talk about how he feels like he's hurt Roman because, with the Attitude Era and the difference in eras and, Cena being PG and everything, it kind of puts more pressure on Roman. The PG crowd the PG crowd likes Roman. Men 18 to 35 hate Roman, that kind of thing. I mean, why is Cena taking responsibility for that?
Because Cena ruined it, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I mean, it is what it is. The fans did what they did. You had a generational gap. Other people grew up on wrestling the way it was, and then you got this. You started catering to young kids that buy into this Superman crap, and then they turn of age, and then they don't buy it anymore. It's the way it goes. It always has been.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. So.
Nope.
So yeah, it is. It's. And I'll throw this at you too, and then whatever, and then we'll be done with the wrestling because I said there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, with the wrestling stuff. I wasn't gonna do a whole Super Showdown segment. I did that last week, and there wasn't much to talk about outside of the fact that I got the matches were better, and I thought it was better than Greatest Royal Rumble. So, but nothing much happened. So,
the only match I even wanted to see at Super Showdown was Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
The cruiserweights have been killing it on their show list.
They have. And I think I read something about, isn't Mike Kanellis over there now?
Yes, he just debuted.
Yeah. So I think I read something about that. And look, next week we're going to have a lot to talk about because we have SmackDown 1000, which is going to be a big show on Tuesday. I imagine there'll be some interesting stuff on Raw as they continue to move forward because they're kind of setting up Survivor Series while building the Crown Jewel, which is good. So I imagine we'll have some stuff to talk about next week with that. And then we'll have Evolution and previews. Well, and also I should mention this too. This is the last thing I'm going to mention. Well, I said that already. This is the thing this is the last thing I was going to mention. I've been reading this thing. We never talk about anything else at WWE, because I just don't know much about it. But I read this thing. Maybe you know more about it, Mike, about New Japan Pro Wrestling's morale being down.
Yep.
I guess they had a management change.
They had a management change about 6 months ago,
and they're not happy.
No. A lot of the wrestlers feel like they're from a wrestling factory and not so much a passionate place to wrestle.
Mm.
None of them have really spoken out, but everyone thinks it was Cody who leaked it, because of course it was. Kenny's getting his hair back to black, I think, again. So I don't know what has to do with New Japan. I was thinking about it for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I heard Cody. That's what I was thinking about. Cody might have leaked that with New Japan. People are thinking for being the elite and everything. People are thinking that Cody was had leaked that people in the morale in the New Japan locker room was down. My mind went right to being the elite for some reason. But yeah, there was a change. The new president is Harold Meiji, but people are more upset with the general manager. I forgot what his name is, but he's an American. But they're very upset with him. So a lot of the guys feel like they're not being appreciated. And you can see a lot of the frustration in the booking because A, they don't know what they're doing with Minoru Suzuki. B, what the hell are they doing with the main event picture? It looks like the Tokyo Dome match is officially Tanahashi versus Omega, which is not the best, not a choice I would have made, but it is what it is. But the most interesting storyline of the show is Jay White, and they're thinking with the rise of Jay White, being the new member of the Bullet Club OG / firing squad. They're thinking that a lot of this drama from the general manager and everything is driving the elite, who, to be fair, is a proven draw in America, towards WWE. So there's a lot of pieces interconnected there. So I wish I could explain it better, but I'm like half asleep.
Yeah, you did better than I did. And by the way, I said because WWE did issue a statement about the suspected murder of the Saudi journalists.
Yeah. Oh, finally, huh?
This is all we got. Okay, you can find this. You can Google it. There is a statement out there. This is a quote. We are currently monitoring the situation. That's it.
Well, they don't want to lose out on the sweet Saudi money, but it's going to be hard for them to justify going over there and putting on a show for the government that just murdered a journalist.
And by the way, they have a 10-year agreement with the Saudi General Sports Authority.
Sweet Saudi money. What's going on?
So here's the thing, okay? Because President Trump was kind of downplaying this too a little bit because he has his reasons too. I don't know what you do here. I don't know how you backpedal out just about them getting mad at you and then causing this big uproar. I don't think you should go. I think you should just host the event somewhere else. Find a way to agree with them and buy it out. I know you're leaving a lot of money, but come on. The situation is tense enough as it is. It's a horrible situation. You have to know when to back away. They should have never did it in the first place.
Yep.
You want to do international events, there's plenty of places. The Australia thing was fine. For what it was. It was fine. You could do London. You can do do Ireland if you can.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's different things you can do. But this was just a bad thing. I mean, you could do Japan. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. I wouldn't have done this, and it's kind of come back to bite them, and was a sad situation. And I don't know how they get out of this. It's gonna be interesting to see how they handle it. It really is. I thought they'd give more than just that as a statement, but I guess they can't really say much right now because it's kind of like a back and forth kind of thing right now. But yeah, but yeah, they did issue a statement. I think that was done earlier this evening. So
that was smart. They should have.
I was wondering where it was. It took long enough.
Yep.
But yeah, so all right, that's all the wrestling stuff. We covered it. I wanted to throw it out there while Mike was still on, and he's falling asleep, so we should probably let him go because we got some entertainment stuff to do anyway.
Yes.
So we got the James Gunn stuff and the wrestling stuff out of the way. So we got a little bit of both. So that's good. Huzzah! Yes, exactly. Huzzah. Yes.
So yes, I will be back at some point in the future. But for now, good night and good luck.
Good night, Mike. Thank you for joining us. And that sounds good. Yeah. Okay, so we're very glad that Mike was able to join us, and very glad. And it was nice to have him. And that was kind of like the anniversary thing, folks. That was kind of it. Like I said earlier in the open, we gotten to the point now. We've done so many different anniversary celebration type things that it's better just to kind of go about things. And if you have people that you can bring them back, and just have some fun. That's what we did tonight. We talked about a lot of current topics. Kind of went back to the summer, some things that kind of were out there, and it's good. It's good, and it was good to have him back and go back and forth with him. And he was exhausted, he still gave us some things, so it was good. And I want to also point out too, we were talking about that journalist. Hope our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to his family and his loved ones and all involved in that. That's a horrible situation out there that we were talking about, and hopefully everything works out. Hopefully, the fears are not true and that he's still alive. That journalist is still alive. But if not, obviously our hearts will be broken over, and our thoughts and prayers will go out to all involved, because that's a horrible situation, and just hope for the best there, and that your fears are wrong, and that that journalist is still alive. You really do hope that that's the case. So somehow. So all right. So we did a little entertainment, the James Gunn stuff at the top, and then we shifted to some wrestling. Now we're going to jump back to entertainment. I'm going to do TV highlights, and we're going to end with the box office beat. Because honestly, folks, I feel really bad because, one of the things we've been doing over these last couple of weeks is, we brought back the TV highlights with the fall TV shows. We kind of been doing these highlights with a little bit of a fall TV focus, as I've been trying to get through some of the new and returning shows of this fall. I mentioned some things over the last couple of weeks, and I continue to enjoy Manifest and New Amsterdam. But New Amsterdam got a back of the season pickup, which is good. I watched some Little Things. I think it's just a ripoff of This Is Us. I really enjoyed that. I haven't gotten to as many shows as I would have liked to have at this point. I continue to watch Shameless. I'm really into that show. I think it's been great this season. South Park, I think, has been okay. I think it's gotten better since the first episode. But I don't really have a lot of the shows that I like and enjoy, returning shows that I like and enjoy, that I seek out. I'm not coming back to midway through the season. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of shows have been held back to October. A lot of ABC shows have been held back to October, like The Rookie, which I'm going to tune into with Nathan Fillion. I plan to check that one out. But yeah, I mean, I told you last week I like the Fox. I saw Last Man Standing. I think it's been great so far. The Cool Kids I've really enjoyed. So other than that, I don't really have much to add. And it's been kind of, and one of the difficulties with doing this segment when you're doing like new shows, is that not everybody gets to them right away. So, and you don't want to spoil people. And that's the same thing with doing any kind of reviews on the show. One of the things that we've always struggled with, me and Mike and anybody that's on the show when we do these TV reviews, or even film reviews, we struggle with the idea of doing reviews and giving you highlights on what we've seen without spoiling things. Because that's, and I like to try to review things without spoiling, because sometimes, especially in this day and age, a lot of people wait until they can binge watch like a whole season or a whole half a season or whatever, and you don't want to spoil it for them. It's difficult. So we try to keep a balance here and try to review things without going into too much detail, but it's hard. It's hard, and that's what makes it kind of a difficult thing to navigate and makes the segments shorter and very vague and kind of hurts the segments. So, you know, I really like what NBC's brought this year. I like Manifest in New Amsterdam. I like Cool Kids. I think those 3 shows have been really good. I feel bad. I'm kind of ready to give up on it. I don't think it's becoming what it needs to become. What other new shows? Are there any other new shows I've watched? I don't think so. As far as returning shows go, like I said, I think Rapid Standing's been done great. I think Shameless has been solid. South Park, I think, has been solid. What else? Oh, Walking Dead came back this week, and it was amazing. Probably my favorite episode since the end of season 7, the finale. I thought that episode was really, really good. But boy, does this give you the first kind of optimistic feel about this show in eons. Characters were talking to each other, characters were interacting that haven't interacted in eons. The dialogue was sharp, the story moved. It felt like a zombie show set with like a Western. It felt like Deadwood at times. Just a really good episode. All the I felt like characters got focused that they should have gotten years ago, like Maggie and Daryl. And even Carol, and they made me care about everybody again. Like for the longest time, I didn't care about these characters, and finally, I know people. There's a lot of audience members out there that watch The Walking Dead that don't like season 2 of The Walking Dead. I love season 2. I love season 2 because I felt like you got to know the characters and got to see them interact and got to know them and care about them. And we haven't gotten that. Probably since the end of season 4. Maybe even at times season 5 had some things, but other than that, since then it's been action, 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 and that's it. Characters didn't have time to react to things. You'd see people get killed off, but it would kind of be like after a few episodes, that would be it. Like it just show just kind of like it was going through the motions, just trying to bring comic book scenes to life and just move on to the next big thing. And now it's kind of slowing things down and making things matter and playing out things like that, between characters that you should see. And you're getting romance, which I never thought you'd see, but you're getting it. It felt like The Walking Dead of old, but with a new feel to it, like a Western feel to it. It was interesting. It was a really good episode. And hopefully it continues. I mean, I know they're losing Andrew Lincoln, but if they give a quality episode every week like they did this week, they should be fine. They should be fine. So it was a really good return, I thought. Really good return. Okay, so I got distracted by something in my driveway there, but I apologize. Sometimes that happens, folks. Why podcast? What can you say? But anyway, all right. So as far as TV highlights go, that's all I got. Like I said, I haven't been able to get to as many shows, both new and return, as I've wanted to. I'm trying to get to what I can get to and give you all reviews and stuff. I'm doing the best I can with it. So little by little, I'm doing it. Hopefully next week I'll get the chance to get to more. If I don't, then we do the best we can. But so far, that's my TV highlights for so far this fall TV season and for this week. So a little bit of mixture of both. What I've seen over the kind of a recap of what I felt over the last few weeks, and of course the highlights I've had from this week. So very vague, I know, but I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. So it makes it hard. It makes it very difficult. So yeah, let's back away from TV highlights. Did the best I could with that. Let's do some box office talk. And you're coming out Columbus Day weekend. We all thought would be an okay weekend. Ends up being more than okay, as the 2 big movies coming out this weekend overperformed big time. Venom, $80 million. Friday to Sunday, incredible number. Sony couldn't dream of that number. Goes to story. Spider-Man speaks volume, whether it's his an anti-hero or villain, or if it's the Spider-Man himself, it speaks volumes. He draws. He draws. Venom drew, and despite the bad reviews, it did well, and it got a favorable reaction. I went and saw the film. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought once you got Venom introduced, it was pretty solid. It wasn't the most amazing thing in the world, but I thought it was pretty solid. But Venom way overperformed. Way overperformed. In fact, you remember I predicted Star Wars Born to be number one. And I thought it'd be on number one like 30, 40 million. And Star Wars Born ends up in second with 42.9, which is right around the high end of what I thought it could do. But who would have thought Venom would do 80.2? It's tremendous. Sony has to be loving it, and that's why they're going to do a sequel. There's no way around it. And it made 127.1 million overseas, so it's already up to 229.9 million worldwide on a $100 million budget. So it's already a hit. So they're going to make a sequel out of it. So huge for Sony as they try to do something with their Spider-Man properties, and also a good week for Star Wars Born. It's only a $36 million budget, made 42.9 million. And 14 million overseas. That's 75.8 million already. So it's off and running. And it's been well received, so it should hold strong over the next few weeks. That's what the buzz it's getting. So Columbus Day weekend ends up being more than just a decent weekend. It's being a huge box office weekend, which it hasn't been in a long time. It hasn't always been looked at it like that. That's why we don't do like 4 or 5 day numbers or anything like that. Kind of gets looked at the same way as President's Day weekend and Veterans Day weekend and such. It's not a huge box office weekend end up being. Even your holdovers did reasonably well. Small for a drop from second to third with 14.4 million, 37% drop off there. Night School dropped from first to fourth, pretty hard drop, but with the given Venom and Star Wars Born, not surprising. 12.5 million on a 54% drop for a Night School. Dropping from third to fifth, The House with a Clock in its Walls, 7.3 million, a 41% drop off. In its third week, and then everything else was under 5 million. But again, having a top 5 where the lowest number is 7.3 and the highest 80.2 in the first week, full weekend of October, and for holiday weekend for Columbus Day weekend is actually a very good weekend. It is. So all in all, I think Hollywood's got to be very happy with that, and the studios, Sony and Warner Bros. Should be very happy with how those two movies, Venom and Star Wars Born, turned out. Did very good. Very, very good. So it ends up being a very good box office weekend, much, much better than expected. And you can build on that momentum this weekend here as you see 4 new releases, 3 of which are major releases, one of which is more of a smaller budget release. That small budget release is called Gus Now, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer, drama from GVN, releasing, opening in 673 theaters. It's starring Dean Cain. It won't do a lot of, maybe get like 1.5, maybe 2 million if it's lucky. So that one won't factor into much of anything. But the other 3 movies should. The biggest release is First Man, a drama from Universal, opening in 3,640 theaters, directed by Damien Chazelle of La La Land. Ryan Gosling in this film, as it chronicles First Man to go to the moon, and all that went with that. And it's a movie that's got a lot of awards buzz. It's a movie, obviously Ryan Gosling, so always get awards buzz. It's a movie that it's being so far seems like to be well received, getting a lot of good promotion. It's going to play more to older audiences. I don't expect it to be number 1. But I think it'll be up there. It could take number 2 potentially, but I think it'll get seen. The older audience has been waiting for something like this, older like type drama that plays the audiences, and this will do that. Your second biggest release is Goosebumps 2: A Haunted Halloween, a comedy from Sony Columbia, opening in 3,521 theaters. As the Goosebumps films continue to expand, and the first Goosebumps did very well, came out around the same time. So we got a $35 million budget, which it should easily do. Now, there's been a lot of family films this fall and summer. So it's not going to be easy for this film to do well, but it is seasonal, and these family films have been doing well, so I anticipate this will do that again. It will do enough to get number 1. We'll see. Should be competitive with a Star Wars Born and Venom. I think Venom's going to crash pretty hard, so I don't think it'll take number 1, but that, it'll be a factor, and the Star Wars Born will be a factor too, depending on how it holds. So it should be very close between Venom and Star Wars Born. Goosebumps and First Man should be very, very close. And there's another movie that I think might surprise people too, and that's Bad Times at the El Royale, a thriller from Fox, opening 2,808 theaters. Directed and written by Drew Goddard. Dakota Johnson, Chris Hemsworth, John Hamm, Jeff Bridges, and Nick Offerman all star in this film. So it's got some people in this movie that draw. It is R-rated though, and that's probably why it's only being released in 2,808 to 2.8 2,888 theaters, I'm supposed to say. But 2,808 theaters, I should say, not 888. But it is R-rated, and that hurts it, obviously. So does it have enough juice to get to 20 million? Probably. I don't think it will. I think it'll probably go like more 12, 13, maybe 15 million tops. We'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does even better, because I think it's got the actors to draw, and it's the kind of movie that I could see kind of being like a sleeper hit. So 4 notable releases, 3 which are on the major side. It sets up to be an interesting week, especially with last week's holdovers. So let's do some predictions here. I'm going to go with Venom's going to crash hard. The question is what does The Star Is Born do? Okay, I think Goosebumps will probably pull around 25 to 30. You know what? I'm going to go with Goosebumps number 1, 30 million. First Man number 2, about 25, 28, 25, between 25 and 28 million. It's going to be very close between those two. I think A Star Is Born will be right around 18 to 20. I think Venom will be around 15, 16, because I think it's going to drop very sharply. Bad Times at the El Royale, I think, will be around 12, 13 million. Small Fort, with Goosebumps coming out, Small Fort's going to take even more of a dive, because the family audience will be at Goosebumps. Small Fort, I'm going to go for around 8 million, maybe a little less. Night School around 6.5, 7, and then A House with a Clock in Its Walls, I think will be right around 5 million, or drop below this, especially again with the family audience being taken up by Goosebumps, and and of course Small Fort will probably still be driving some business too. So that's how I see the box office going this week. Again, I think that's if that sets up the way I think, or better, then it ends up being a very good week, especially for the middle of October, on the heels of what was a good week last weekend. A surprising weekend where Venom and Star Wars did much better than expected. We'll see if the box office can pull off that surprise again here. It's got some good momentum. The fall has been much better, and the end of the summer was much better. So it's got some good momentum. Hoping to keep it up here. And I think with the movies it's got coming out plus the holdovers, I think it sets up to be a weekend where at least you do very well, if not better than expected. So next weekend you have a big release in Halloween, which should do very, very well, especially since it's seasonal, but especially since it's a franchise that's beloved, and Jamie Curtis back, that should do very well. And you have expanding releases of The Hate U Give, a crime drama from Fox, and The Old Man, the Gun, a drama from Fox Searchlight. And after that, a couple other movies, Hunter Killer, Indivisible, and Johnny English Strikes Again, all which I don't think will do huge business, but should be a factor. And then you turn the page to the holiday movie season in November. So if the box office can get through the next couple weeks and continue the momentum it has, it sets up for a very, very good holiday movie season. And, good momentum. Good momentum. So we'll see how this weekend's box office does on the heels of last week's shocking, surprising box office weekend. All right, so with that being said, we did the box office, and we did the TV highlights, we did the wrestling. It was good to have Mike for that. And also we did the James Gunn stuff, which it's also good to have Mike for that. So it's good that we got his thoughts on some things, and we got to everything we had to get through. I mean, I could also talk about Ryan Coogler signing on to do Black Panther too, but that was not a surprise, so there's nothing to talk about there. So somebody just asked me, what's your thoughts on that? Wasn't a surprise. Not at all. We all knew it was going to happen. The question is, what's the movie going to be about? Because, again, it's kind of like a mysterious thing. There's not a whole lot of canon for Black Panther. So a lot of ways they can go. We'll see what happens with that. But not a surprise to see Ryan Coogler go back, and it was a foregone conclusion. So not much to talk about there. No real thoughts other than the fact it's great. And let's get to the movie, because I think it's going to be, after the first one, you just can't wait to see what they do with the sequel. So, but yeah, nothing to talk about with that one. So we did everything. We talked about everything. We had some fun with Mike. We did and that was kind of like an anniversary type thing for us. And, You know, we did some wrestling, we did some entertainment. Good show, very good show. So, with that being said, we are done for tonight. As always, the show might be over. Does not mean you have to stop interacting to our show. Continue to have your voice heard by sending us your feedback, questions about the show, scheduling the show, topic ideas, or breaking news items, whether sports, entertainment, wrestling you want us to cover, reactions, opinions, comments and things we talk about on the show, things we said, any things you can do by email, Facebook, and Twitter. You can email us at itspotlight411@gmail.com. You can also follow us and tweet us at itspotlight411. Remember to use the hashtag itspotlight411, or if you're tweeting about tonight, so you can use hashtag ITS8 for our 8th anniversary. And of course, you can also find us on Facebook. As always, search for In the Spotlight 411 on Facebook, and make sure that you like our fan page so you can interact with us and know what's going on and all that good stuff. Again, follow us on social media, either Twitter or Facebook, to get the latest information about the show. That's when it comes to postponements, delays, any other important information you need to know about that we don't let you know about ahead of time, or even the stuff we know about, let you know about ahead of time in case you need a reminder. It's helpful to follow us on social media so you can get those reminders. Also, post random things on our social media as well, so they have access to all that and more. Make sure you check us out on our social media on Twitter at ITSpotlight411. Remember, hashtag ITSpotlight411 you want to use when you tweet anything to us or regarding our show. And as always, you can find us on Facebook to search for In the Spotlight 411 on Facebook, and then make sure that you like our fan page so you can interact with us and have access to everything that's on there and all that good stuff. So, all right. If you'd like to keep up with the show and look back at classic episodes, you have two ways in which to do that. You can either stream us anytime on YouTube, to search In the Spotlight 411. When you do, you'll find our little show page area there where you can click on past episodes and stream us anytime you want. Every episode we've ever done since we started on Google Plus and YouTube, I don't say Google Plus anymore because we're shutting it down, but every episode we've ever done since we started on Google Plus and YouTube way back in the middle of October 2015, which is what, 4 years ago now? 3 years ago now, I should say. Every episode we ever streamed from mid-October 2015 all after tonight's current episode, they're all available for you to stream anytime you want. So feel free to stream us anytime on YouTube. Just search In the Spotlight 411. If streaming's not your thing, maybe prefer to listen to us instead, or listen to us on the go, or maybe insert older episodes of the show. If any of that applies to you, check us out on our main host sites, Podbean and iTunes. Search In the Spotlight 411. And when you do, you'll be taken to our show pages on both sites. We have access to every episode we ever produced in nearly 8 years we've been doing this show. So everything from original Blog Talk Radio one from October 2010, January 20, all of our episodes from our Talk Show one from January 2011, all after October 2015, and all of our Google Plus and YouTube episodes mid-October 2015, all after tonight's current episode. All episodes transferred to audio format for your convenience. Every episode we've ever done is in audio format for your convenience on there. All episodes listed from the most recent date, that being tonight's, all the way to the oldest, way back in October 2010. 8 years ago. All the episodes are available for you to listen to anytime you want. Listen to them on the go. Maybe you want to check out an episode from way back when for the first time, an episode from 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, way back when. Again, that you haven't listened to in a while. Maybe you're catching up on current episode, missed a part episode, want to check out an episode again. Maybe missed the most recent episode. Any of that applies to you. Check us out on our main host sites, Podbean and iTunes. Just search for In the Spotlight 4 on Google Plus, YouTube. Podbean, iTunes, and Google Plus, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, your ways to keep up with the show and look back at classic episodes. To search for In the Spotlight 411. I'm going to search for In the Spotlight 411. Shout out to my co-host Mike, who rejoined us tonight after 5-6 month absence. He hasn't been here since May. Good to see him. Thankfully, I hope things continue to go better for him and well for him. So good to see him, and hopefully he'll be back soon. So shout out to him. Thank you for him joining us tonight. I also thank myself for a great show, pat myself on the back, and thank all of you for your continued support and contributions to the show. Thank you so much for watching. To those that will be watching or listening to this later, thank you to you as well. Again, if you can help out the people of Florida or anybody that's been impacted by natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, anything that's happened in the last year or so, but also Hurricane Michael obviously this week, you can help out in any way with that, either like giving money or your time or whatever you can do, please do that. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody impacted by the horrific storm and any tragedies that have taken place. So we want to make sure we note that. And again, if you can help out, please do. And also the fundraiser my wife has going for her birthday for the Monocytosis organization, nonprofit. I shared the fundraising information on our show's Facebook page, but also on my Facebook page as well. So please look that up. And if you can give, please do give. Anything you can give either to that or to, disaster relief organizations for the hurricane. Anything you can give to any of these good causes, please do. Again, nothing's too small. Everything helps. So please, if you can give, that would be very, very wonderful. That is it for tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your night, a great weekend, and a great start to your week next week. We'll be back here for our next show this coming Tuesday night, which is October the 16th, broadcasting and streaming live here on YouTube at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do sports. We'll do NFL, college football, baseball, talk about all the baseball games that have already transpired, what might still transpire, anything we're up against. We'll talk about it. All that will be on Tuesday's show. And your sports stuff we have to cover, we'll talk about on Tuesday's show. Maybe even do a little bit of a pre-NBA preview because we won't have time to do that while we're gone, while we're on hiatus. So, or after our hiatus, we probably won't have time to do it. So we'll probably do it maybe on Tuesday quickly. So that'll be on Tuesday, and then next Thursday we'll talk wrestling, Raw, SmackDown highlights, any other wrestling stuff we have to get to, and then box office, BTV highlights, any other entertainment stuff we have to get to. That will be on next Thursday's show. We'll preview WWE Evolution. We'll do all that next Thursday. So 2 shows next week, 1 show the week after before we go on hiatus, and then we'll talk more about what's coming up on the show with the new format and stuff next week as well. So big week next week. We'll see you then. Hope you have a great rest of your night, great weekend. Again, great start to week next week. We'll see you back here this coming Tuesday, October the 16th, broadcasting live here on YouTube at 10 o'clock p.m. time. Until then, good night, everybody.